A lot of gamers seem to just straight up hate Ubisoft because, let's face it, some of their projects are boring, bland, and basic. They just pretty much print the same sequels every single year. Even if you are a fan of things like Assassin's Creed or some of their shooters, you have to admit that Ubisoft is not a company that I think of when the word creativity comes to mind, which is why it's incredibly funny that right now a bunch of the internet is mocking that some Ubisoft developers are insulting Elden Ring. Now, I want to take a look at all aspects of this, and also how this is involved with Horizon Forbidden West. What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here. Now, all of this is very interesting to me because, honestly, I am very much obsessed with Elden Ring. I'm actually over 100 hours now. I'm trying to defeat all 83 of the bosses inside of Elden Ring, and perpetually, I am so impressed by the polish of that game. It's so fun to die, it's so fun to level up, it's so fun to just upgrade your weapon to do 5% more damage and get that crazy crit. I love Elden Ring, but I also understand some of the criticisms of it. It's not a game for everyone, but these people seem to be complaining about the dumbest stuff possible. So here it is. Horizon Forbidden West and Ubisoft developers criticize Elden Ring for the game's quest design and UX, which basically means the heads-up display, how the screen is laid out. Now, this article is basically breaking down the drama, but let's just take a look at the tweets themselves. So this guy right here, Ahmed, this is actually the dude who works directly at Ubisoft. The fact that Elden Ring scored a 97 on Metacritic is proof that reviewers don't give a flaming poop about games UX. My life is a lie. Now, obviously, he's just basically saying, in the most polite way possible, that nobody really cares about how properly your screen is laid out. To him, he just thinks that HUD is not really a priority. Now, somebody else decided to jump in and say that the PC graphics are apparently bad, stability and performance, so everybody's kind of bagging on it. But here is, I feel like, what sort of is the powder keg of drama. Horizon Forbidden Blake, this guy jumps in and says, quest design is not good either. Basically chiming in, these are a list of complaints that these people perceive as flaws in Elden Ring. Now, this guy specifically, Horizon Forbidden Blake, this is the senior quest designer at Guerilla Games. He is the dude who is directly in charge of all the quests we did in Horizon Forbidden West. So it's interesting to see him just directly trash-talking a game like Elden Ring, which is more cryptic in its style of quests. Now, I just want to say, I've played a lot of hours of Horizon Forbidden West. I've actually nearly platinumed it. I'm taking a break right now because I'm playing a bunch of Elden Ring, but I have done so much of that game, and it's definitely a game that can be very handholdy at times. It constantly tries to drag you to the next location. There's a lot of different quest markers. There's a lot of ways where it wants you to just directly walk to each and every objective. Also, I didn't talk about this much in my review, but Horizon Forbidden West is a very talky game. Even if you're doing side quests or main quest, there's a lot of times where they just want to have 18 lines of dialogue to explain why Daniel is lost in the desert. Now, I actually kind of enjoy that. I enjoy some heavy lore in games, but it's funny to see someone who uses a very specific design for video games, insulting something that is a bit more loosey-goosey. Now, this has had a very understandable backlash. Gamers, for the most part, do not seem to like Ubisoft. So, an Ubisoft developer trying to bag on Elden Ring, that was not taken very well. And a lot of people are saying that this feels somehow petty. A lot of people are sort of perceiving this as the fact that Horizon Forbidden West feels threatened by Elden Ring. But what personally I'm the most amused about is that now people are making lots and lots of memes basically roasting Ubisoft. Like, somebody made this fake Photoshop that I absolutely love. If Ubisoft decided to make Elden Ring, this is what the screen would look like. It would be a jumbled mess of stupid markers. It would have a billion tiny objectives. Your quest log would be a clunky mess. I mean, let's face it, part of the beauty of Elden Ring is the fact that it feels like a classic high adventure. It does not really tell you directly what to do. A lot of it is just trying to figure things out, Googling questions. It's about trying to ask for help or read notes about putting a finger in a butthole. I like the fact that Like, both of these methodologies are so different but so fun. I don't want to say that one is better than the other, but I am really, really enjoying, like, when I figure something out in Elden Ring, I feel like I solved that quest. In a way, I almost feel like I made that quest because of the way I had to figure it out. Whereas, obviously, Horizon Forbidden West, it very much just says, go to A, go to B, go to C, congratulations, here's your loot. Now, a lot of people have even started to just straight up make very insulting memes, in my opinion, roasting Ubisoft, saying like, if Elden Ring was developed by Ubi, you would have had to pay real money for every single one of the stone sword keys. So basically, there are these optional locked rooms throughout Elden Ring, and you find these keys, and I do fully agree the fact that if this was an Ubisoft project, they'd probably sell these for $1 each, making it so that because the things you can unlock with these are such good upgrades, I feel like this would be Ubisoft's way of being like, oh, we're not, this isn't pay to win, it's just pay to level up faster. Now, that itself is a very funny burn, but I'm also just kind of interested in the idea of this comparing and contrasting. Personally, I really do believe that Horizon Forbidden West is a fantastic game. Elden Ring is a straight-up masterpiece, but I do kind of like the idea of iron sharpens iron. Having two games constantly bash against each other makes it so that gamers win. These people are competing to create the biggest, best, most fun games possible. And I'm also kind of fascinated by some of the strange takes people are giving on it. Now, here is two tweets that are very, very good. These are actually both from people I'm very, very respectful of. Danny O'Dwyer, who obviously makes video game documentaries, says that as nasty as this Elden Ring is well-designed discourse is, it may be worth considering why many players are so forgiving of the rough edges. It feels like players seem to enjoy the struggle. Even in these areas, perhaps there are valuable lessons to learn. Now, this is a very good take. Now, Gene Park chimes in. This is actually the head video games reporter for the Washington Post. Gene Park is also a personal friend. He is a very smart dude. He says this: since it's now a multi-day thing, my take is this. I don't like the idea that a good game comes from exacting audience-tested formulaic scientific formulas. There is fun even in things that one might perceive as errors to the formula. Maybe it's just a different idea that works with people. This is my main crux of the argument, is that I do think it's interesting that Ubisoft, for better or for worse, is focused on being a factory of fun. They want to just churn out the next sequel, the next DLC, whatever it takes to make sure that the next game is bigger and better than the last. That's all they care about. Even if the quality dips, even if it just feels completely copy-paste, that is the pure objective of Ubisoft. They don't really care if the game is original. They don't care if the game is going to impress you or surprise you. They care that it sells and has a bunch of microtransactions. Whereas Elden Ring is a $60 package, and honestly, it's just so packed full with hundreds of hours of content. Even if you do a very clean run of Elden Ring, it's going to take most people 30 or 40 hours to finish it, and that's if you're very, very experienced with it. If you want to try and figure out the quests, explore the hidden locations, and defeat all 83 of the bosses like I'm trying to do, the game is going to absorb months of your time, and all of it is gloriously fun. I feel like sometimes it can be toxic to compare such different genres. Sometimes people try and compare like, okay, DreamcastGuy gave a 9.5 out of 10 to Gran Turismo 7. Does that mean that it's better than Horizon? Does that mean that it's better than this exclusive that came to Xbox? And to me, I feel like sometimes it can be just detrimental to the gaming conversation to compare two things. But in this case, Ubisoft deserves a bit of hate. Now, that's just my take, but these developers trying to insult Elden Ring, acting like somehow Elden Ring messed up, acting like Elden Ring is somehow detrimental to the idea of good exploration. I'm actually glad that they're getting a little bit of pushback. This developer, honestly, his take is just so dumb. I think it's nice that people are saying, hey, aren't you the guys that try and sell every single skin in every single game and put like big weed leaves and everything possible? Perhaps when it comes to just the general trash talk of developers at Ubisoft or some very angry developer at something like Guerilla Games, maybe just don't tweet it, because we're all going to laugh. Alright, well, I just wanted to talk about this. What do you think? Are you still playing Elden Ring? Is it still the best game ever? What do you think about this? Are you actually on Team Ubisoft, Team Guerilla Games, or Team Who Gives a Crap? It's just fun drama. I love you guys very much. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please give it a like, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all, and keep dreaming. Oh man, this is funny. I'll be honest, this is very funny to me. All these people are probably in trouble with their bosses. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.